Welcome to another episode of Sync And Desist.
Welcome.
182.
182. How about this hot day that we have? It's been incredibly hot the last few days.
Has it?
Have you been? As I'm wearing my long sleeve shirt, dude. I don't dress in the summer way anymore. I don't wear have you seen me wear shorts? I wore them a couple of summers ago, but I think I just stopped wearing them at some point.
Brad and his oddly strong calves.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I remember you were like, oh my God, Brad's got some big calves. So I have no idea how I even developed calves like that. This is not like I go running and everything, but even though I do need to hit the gym, I haven't been on my game there, so.
Yeah, no, I haven't noticed it's super hot. Of course, I just came from Arizona.
Oh, so yeah, that's right. I mean, this ain't that level of heat, so
No, I had a photo shoot yesterday, and there were hella mosquitoes, but it wasn't super hot or anything. I was wearing all black per usual, but yeah, no. And it's been raining a little bit, especially today. But
it's not helping.
I haven't noticed. I've been traumatized.
Also, shouts to just the new gas station or new-ish gas station, right near here.
Shout them out.
I ain't gonna dox where I'm gonna say, but there's a gas station right outside your neighborhood that just opened a little while ago, and your boy needed some hydration, and it was right there. I was like, yes, we got all the options there. So, shouts to that gas station. Anyways, how has your week been, Rob?
Trying to connect the dots.
No, I'm just saying. It just hit the spot. All right.
You bought the most sugary and bad for your heart thing.
I know. Your boy drinking a Monster today. So
yeah. No, but I've been. Yesterday I had a photo shoot, and it we were talking a little earlier, because I've just been kind of and I've talked about on the podcast even, about just burnout, even creatively, I went into that thing all right, let's knock this thing out. Let's knock it out of the park. And it feels good to actually have done that and be present,
right.
There, and actually I'm kind of in my element right now. Yeah. And where instead of going through the motions, where I feel that's kind of where I've been. And it's not because we've talked about in the 6th Man episode where I'll show up creatively, even if I'm not there mentally. Mm-hmm. If I'm present creatively, but absent mentally. So to be there in my element, that felt great. And then to look at the photos and to edit the photos and then send them to I let you see them, I let my family see them, and it's this is good. It's leveling up kind of where it's I'm doing it for pay, but I'm actually passionate about it. So it's right. It's rewarding, it's that was kind of humbling. It's damn, I'm doing this for a living, but it's fun again, so that, as well as this Sunday gig, taking the Sabbath, so I get a Sunday off.
Yeah, to kind of speak to what you were saying about that gig you had too, do you prefer working with someone that you don't have to direct super hard, they just kind of naturally know what to do? Because what I've kind of found with the few, now you've done way more photography gigs than I have, but the few that I have done, I like it where I don't really have to do a whole lot of work. That may sound lazy. That's not really the way I mean it, but it's like it just takes out some of that extra work you have to do with like, hey, will you go here, will you turn there, will you do this thing, you know? And it just feels like there's that strain, you know, of like I'm trying to capture like a natural like moment with someone, and it feels forced, you know, like too directed. I guess that kind of speaks to like some of those directors that love directing the same actors. Like actor and director relationship is like huge with some directors. Be like, this guy's easy to work with. So like, you know, I just hand him a script. He knows what to do with it, you know, that sort of thing. So is that kind of like, how do you feel about that? Like you've worked with enough clients now that it's like, what's your flow, you know?
Yeah. Like, I've talked about it like on the podcast, like in the best of luck, bro. When it was the last episode, I talked about clients. Because one bad experience would turn to a whole episode. But no, like I had to direct him like a lot, and like I was telling her yesterday, like you're a natural. I haven't told you anything, and like. It's a lot easier when someone knows what they're doing. But when someone doesn't, it's kind of like, okay, I'm earning this money right now. Because like I have to like show them like you're hiring me because of what I can do and what I'm capable of doing. And like I have a certain style that a lot of people people are gravitate towards, and what you don't. Well, a lot of people notice it, but a lot of people don't like know like the behind the scenes is like I like let them do, like I give out direction here and there, but it's really like I want to capture you in your element. And like for when people actually hire me for what I do and not what I can do, but just because I have a camera, like that feels good because like the person that I worked with yesterday actually has seen my work and was like, yeah, like, and actually narrowed it down to like actually like two photographers, me and another photographer that you've worked with, not who we were talking about earlier. But I was like, yo, you got a good eye because she's dope too. But so it's like I appreciate when someone hires me because of what I do and they actually have seen my work and it's like I like that you do this, and like because I like to capture people in their element and like them as comfortable as possible, just them being them is rewarding when someone actually hires me for that, not just because I have a camera and I can press a button, you know, because there's so much more to it than clicking buttons and moving sliders in a program. Like there's so much more to it, you know. But yeah, so I like to answer your question. Like I like to work with people that know what they're doing, even if they're not like a model or a professional at what they do, like a professional at getting pictures of them taken. Like as long as you have like a base level, like, and you're easy to work with, then that as long as you're the easier to work with, that's a whole hell of a lot better than someone that's just like just stands in front of the camera like, okay, did you get it? It's like maybe relax, be comfortable, you know, because I'm trying to capture your person. Like I'm trying to capture you, you know, and like I was telling you, like you're good at capturing personality. And I wouldn't necessarily say I capture personality because I do a certain thing, and the thing that I think that you're very strong at is not something that I've actually attempted doing because I like to actually stage people, you know, and I'm good at documentary work, but I've not attempted like documentary photography, you know.
You stage, like you set the stage, but you're definitely not like a micromanager in a lot of ways. Like, you know, some directors I would imagine you know, that are maybe a little bit tougher to work for. It's like, this is what I want to do and this is what I want you to do, sort of thing. It's like you kind of lean back into it a little bit. Like, I don't think you necessarily have to like make a style happen. It's like it just happens, you let it flow out of you.
Yeah, you gotta have that eye, gotta have that movement. You gotta be fast.
I do think that it is really cool. You made an interesting point that I hadn't really thought about. And this kind of like, maybe it gets into like the business aspect of things as a creative, but when people hire you for your work, because like I'm not used to being at that level. Like I don't know if I'm really at that level yet or not. But obviously you just experienced that with your recent client. But when creatives get to a certain point, it's like, yes, there might be some people that there's always gonna be critics out there of your work, but there are going to be a slew of people coming to you because they see your portfolio, like when you're just starting out doing something in a creative field, it's like people don't really have a frame of reference. So you're kind of malleable. You're kind of like, you know what I mean? You sort of like go with the flow, like whatever this person needs, I'll try something out, see if it works. Right. But you're starting to get secure in who you are. And like, this is my style. This is my thing. And there's enough out there that people can see that it's like, this is what I do. So if somebody comes to you, they chose you over another photographer.
I have thousands of photos.
But yeah, it's like people chose you because your resume looks like this. Your portfolio looks like this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't have to prove to anybody anything. And, well, most people, God forbid, would come to you just because of your style. I chose you over another photographer that had this style, and I would hope that if someone approached me about like doing, guest vocal features and things like that, they would have enough work to look at, be like, okay, well, Brad does this kind of stuff. It's like, he would be a good fit for this. So
it's not like hey, he sings, right? Do you think he would be interested in being in one of my songs?
Right. And it's like, it's a style of music that it's like, I don't necessarily fuck with or something, But, I mean, if someone approached me and wanted me to attempt a style that I haven't really tried, of course I would give it a try. There's a side of me that wants to explore that, but
your money.
It's like, you're paying for my time.
You're paying for my experiment.
So I would not feel like I'd have to like completely change the way that I sing for a project. It's like I would try to bring what I have to the table into that mix, and see if it works. Right. But I would like to get to that point where people like look at my work and so if they have like a project, you're like, ooh, Brad would be good for that project. Like this is in that vibe that we hear him on. So yeah, it's like choosing Brad over another vocalist that also does something similar, or like I would love to be the first person that comes to mind when somebody thinks of having a guest vocal feature in this like genre, this style or whatever. That'd be really sick. So
yeah.
You're reaching a point, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're getting to a level that it's like you're just upping the level now.
Yeah.
Professionally.
And like kind of like what you were touching on, like just like you said, like I would hope someone would think of me when they think of, just like the photographer that she also was thinking of is like hella good. And it's like, oh, so you like put me in that range, like that's humbling. It's like damn, you think of me like that highly as well, because like I like that person's photos a lot too.
Right.
And it's like yeah, it is like I would love to be the number one pick. Like, oh, I need photos. Oh, Rob, because like I was telling you like earlier, as far as photography, because I've been doing film for ever since 2007. So it's like, I never really had to have like that, like bad or like trying to figure out like photography, like trying to figure out composition and aperture and like, should I have this much bokeh or should it be wide open or whatever. It's like, I've already experienced that in film. So it's like, I already have an eye. So it's easier to translate experience from film to photography because I already do cinematography. But like, as I was telling you earlier, like those early photos, I almost said, those early days, those early days,
I still got them saved on my phone. I go back to them every now and again.
At that cafe.
Yeah.
Like those were some of my first photos. Is like when I picked up that Fuji camera that took actual AA batteries in the bottom and it had a fixed lens. It was a DSLR, but it had a fixed lens, and it was like, it sucked. But like I have an understanding of a camera, so even coming from a film camera to a DSLR from Walmart is like, I can figure out the settings. And it's like, those were my first photos, and like maybe they weren't great, but they were a pretty good starting point. So it's like, to come from that, like I already like had my style, and a lot of people kind of have to find their style. Like that first lineup with the hole.
Yeah.
It looks like a photo I would have taken today, almost. Like, especially when I color grade it, like in today, it's like, so it's just like bettering on what you already have. It's like that, all that experience is like shooting, going out and shooting and shooting and shooting. It's like, I get to add on top of what I already had. And it's like, you can only get better. And like, I guess kind of going back to, the burnout is like, I can do this. Like, not like I can do it with my eyes closed. And it's not to sound cocky. It's like, I can do it. I've done it so many times. I have like over 1,000 photos. Like, even I will pull it up. Like, that's a lot. That's from last September.
Yeah.
That's not even all of the photos that I have. There's over 1,000
Still
photos.
love that shoot too, by the way, the cover photo on that one.
Yeah, like that's over 1,000 photos. That's just from September. Like, so I have years worth of photos. I have thousands of photos. It's like, so I can do it with my eyes closed, quote unquote. But none of that matters if like you're not in it. Like, cool, you can get a good image, and it's like, and I always say like, never let people see you sweat. It's like, some of my last photo shoots, like even recently, I'm like, it's like I'm going through the motion. Like, I'm not there entirely.
Right.
Like we've talked about in the 6th Man episodes, like I'm not there really. Like, so I've been going back to the basics, and I've been, even that last shoot that we did, because we running out of pictures for Sync And Desist. So we had to take some pictures.
Yeah.
But
that was a fun shoot though. Even I was not feeling very good at all. And you can still hear congestion in my voice today. But yeah.
But it's like, I've been going back to the basics, and like you can probably even tell, like I edited those photos how I would have when I was like really in love with photography. Like the color grade is the exact same. I tried to go back and like to that point where I was passionate and try to make those photos look like that, mixed with like the progression of like doing all these photo shoots. Is like, I'm trying to mix the two, but I'm trying to like find that old flame, you know? So it's like, do whatever you have to do to find that flame again. Because for me, it was going back to the basics, like going back to where I like, because I already had the eye for photography. It took experience. It took me shooting to find my specific style. Like, I like color grading this way. I need that film grain. I need it to be dark and contrasty, and I need like to have a good balance. And like they're mostly dark, but like, then I started to experiment with making them a little brighter and like not as much color grain, not as gritty, but it's still me. So it's like I had to go back and like make those gritty images, and then like try to like make them like 2021 Rob instead of 2018. And it's like, but going back, it brought me back. You know, it's
Right.
like, oh shit, I'm actually passionate about photography again. Where like I was just going through the motions and like I was making some dope ass images, but it's like I was just going through the motions. Now it's like I rekindled that flame, and it's like, bro, I want to like shoot right now, but it's raining, you know. So it's
Right.
like I want to.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just finding that flame again.
Right. Yeah, because like even like with me, like back in 2016, like I just needed to like record some of my music ideas. Like, you know, and remember I had that SoundCloud. It's probably still up there. It was that SoundCloud where it's like just phone recordings are on there. It
I
was
got
like
the original of that one song too.
Yeah.
Record on your phone.
So it's like you got to see like the early stages of that stuff. But it's like I just did something. Like I just needed to, you know, and you saw like I was going through a lot of emotions on you know, due to stuff going on in my life at that time. So it was like I even just like put the like phone camera in front of me and then just started like recording song ideas, and I would put it out there. And then I took those and then I like edited them all weird, and just kind of made like little cryptic like kind of videos and stuff. And that I ended up using that for just promoting my project, you know, which then became a full band, and then now we have full blown music videos and stuff. So, which you've been a part of that process every step of the way since its actual inception, its actual origin, and onward. So you and I have like grown together in our art that way. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of like, yeah, like I get what you're saying. Is like sort of feeling like you want to find that old spark, that old flame, but also like
relive the glory days.
Right, but then, you know, use that new style spin on it too. Because I was listening back to some of even like my other band, you know, Cascadent recordings, and those were like 2 years ago, and I'm like, dang, it doesn't even sound exactly like I remember it, like the way I was singing on it and everything. Because like I feel like the way I sing now is different than then, but it's not like I was like I'm trying to sing differently now. It's just, it naturally just happens. So it, over time, like you do kind of change your style, but it still sounds like me. That's what's crazy about it. Is it like, it's still my voice. It's just like the older you get and the more you do it, it does change over time, kind of, you know? And especially when you stop trying to sound like other people too. Because I've noticed like I did do that a little bit, you know, back then. I was like, I'm trying to experiment with my tone, like, and then everyone would be like, oh, you sound like this person, you sound like that person. People still do that too. Oh, you sound like this person. But like, I'm over here like, I'm not trying to sound like anybody. That's just how my voice sounds at this point. So
yeah, like it's the same, like, because like I was telling you, like as far as photography, like I don't pull influence from anyone. I don't even like really look at photos. Like I just show up and like I shoot like through my eye, through my lens. But like a lot of times, so like that's just a unique situation. But speaking personally, again, when I started rapping, when I started recording my rapping, and when on my Sweet 16, 13 years ago, I started to actually record my music, and I started to actually put music out. But my only like real frame of reference for recording and like this creating the sound, actually, because I've been writing music my entire life, but like I'm actually putting it together like on a daily basis, because I like put out freestyles every single day. and then I started to like create songs because I was a freestyle. I used to battle rap, like so like that's why you don't see a lot of battle rappers that actually are artists because that's all they know how to do is like I know how to freestyle, and then it's like taking that freestyle and it's like you have to make a chorus and you have to you have to like construct this thing out of like what you know how to do, you know, but it has to be good, you know, because like anyone can just freestyle, but can you make a song? And so I'm
the opposite.
like my only frame of reference was like T.I. and Jeezy, and like specifically T.I. Like my old music, like when I was going by Black, like, and I was a light skinned black, but like those early songs, like when I was 16, I was emulating T.I. like how to like down to the accent. Well, like I'm from the West Side too. But like, as far as like the accent in the rapping, because like a lot of people from like Australia that have an accent or England that have an accent, when they sing, they sound American. There's no accent at all. Like, but like in my rapping at that time, I was emulating T.I. Like I sounded like T.I. I was rapping like T.I. even though my style was more like Nas. I'm coming across as T.I. So it's like it took years for me to not. It took a couple of years, maybe like 1.5 years to like really find myself and then to actually sound like me. And like now I don't sound like T.I. I sound like me. And it's like that's what's coming out. And it's the same thing. Like you may start something and sound or pull influence from something, but as the years go on and as you do it more and more, like you sound like it's you. Like you comes across. Where like I came from sound like T.I. to sound like me, you know, like and that's what it's about, you know, putting in that experience. Like it took me like 100 songs to find me.
You definitely kind of captured that motif that T.I. had. Like there moment, like some of those, like
you haven't even heard those.
But I totally get what you're saying too. Like I hadn't really thought about it until you just said it. But I could totally see like you pulling a lot from T.I. In those old rap recordings that you showed me. And like for me even too, like I realized that like I grew up listening to mostly like Southern bands and Southern like Christian artists, you know, who kind of like teetered between like the 90s like contemporary worship vibe, but also like the Southern gospel and like post grunge era sort of like songwriting style, that pop rock thing. So that's what I pulled from with my initial songwriting, and that's generally how I kind of sounded with my voice. And then as it went along, I think I kind of like lost some of that accent just a little bit. Cause working with different producers, I know they try to pull different things out of you. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm more at a point now where it's like I can sort of like be, you know, you can like, I'm using that word again, malleable. Like you sort of like Play-Doh, like sort of play with the dough that's already there, but you won't sacrifice my own artistic integrity because through and through I am a Southern guy. So like, and I grew up listening to Christian pop rock. So it's like naturally my tonality is not going to sound exactly like those emo bands or metal bands or, you know, R&B artists and stuff like it's just Brad. Like it's a thing. It's somewhere between all of that and none of that at the same time. So I can relate to you in that regard. It's like, it just comes with time as a creative.
Yeah. Cause your boys record well over 100 songs. Like
insane.
Not even playing. Like literally an entire song every single day for months. I did that.
You just don't know when to quit. That's what it is.
No, but like I found my style, and it's like now it's like it's like one of those things. Like you can put a lineup. You can have a lineup of different photos from different photographers, and if you had to guess which photo is Rob's, I'll be able to pick it out. Obviously, because I took it, but it's like by style.
Yeah, I would be able to pick it out.
Yeah, because it's like it takes time to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And I think like you and like others, as you begin to put it out, others will be able to tell the difference as well. It's like one of those times a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but when I was working at the warehouse, a friend, he wanted to start a thing, and he didn't really know what it was. And then he experimented and he found it out, and he was like, "Yeah, but I found it now, but now it sucks." I'm like, "Well, you have to allow people to see you suck."
Ooh.
And you have to allow people to appreciate the growth, because you're only going to suck in the beginning. But the more you do it, you have to let people see you fail.
Yeah.
So they'll appreciate when you are like dialed in and that you're firing on all cylinders, So like you have to let people see that, because they'll appreciate it more. Like I'm sure like you can appreciate like when I first got my like new camera, like those photos, like one of those first photos we took are actually still to this day dope. But like some of those earlier shoots were cool. Like
right.
It's a lot better than us doing shit on your phone.
Yeah, of course.
When I was doing shit on my phone, early Sync And Desist days. But like then to now.
Yeah.
To like the shit that I'm doing now is like
God tier.
Complete 180.
Yeah, your stuff now is God tier level.
Appreciate it. It was like yeah, you can see the growth in it. Like I'm sure like you can appreciate like, damn, he came from like shooting at the pool, outside of like the pool where he lives, to like this is like next level.
You've used this example, I know, in the past, but I think it's worth mentioning too. Robert Rodriguez, the director, didn't he shoot that first film like in his backyard or something like that? Well, or limited space. He had like no budget, basically.
It was like he had like no money. I think he did his first movie for like $1,000.
Mariachi was called. I think there was like no money in it. And so it would be considered poorly made, now, like looking back at that.
Look at him now.
Yeah, and it's part of his trilogy. I think it's actually part one of Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
It's like, Brad, wrong director.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so that's part of like a trilogy. But like it's crazy because if you look at his credits, yeah, like he does like very successful like kids films, of course, Spy Kids, and then he does like really gritty, insane like nerd films, like Sin City, Grindhouse. Like this dude loves film, and it's kind of a testament to, and he seemingly hasn't worked on any project that he really like. It's his stamp, it's his thing, because like none of those films don't look like a Robert Rodriguez film. Like all of those films look like his style. Like he stuck true to that, and he hasn't directed like a million things. Like Spielberg, I'm sure has more, way more credits than he does, but it's still a testament to like the guy started from nothing, and he's always remained true to like his vision. So that's just sort of a point that I could make there. That's like, just do it. Like the advice that a lot of these directors would tell you is like, just grab, like even if it's a phone, just do it. Film something. There's no excuses really.
Yeah.
Make time.
Yeah, like I wish we still had them. I don't know where they are or what, but like I got into film, like actually doing it because I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. But the summer from middle school going into high school, like we had stopped going to Boys and Girls Club, and we, like I was the oldest. I am the oldest. So like, I was at an age my dad would go to work, and me and my brother would stay at the apartment, and we were obsessed with like SNL at the time and the Chappelle Show mainly.
Oh, yeah.
But like we used to do like skits, like just ourselves, like improv skits, and then during that summer, because we were obsessed with the Chappelle Show, I took my grandma's old, heavy, big camcorder, and I don't even know how I knew this, but it took a mini DV tape, like not the mini like I grew up on.
Oh, I know.
Learning, but like half the size of a VCR. I mean a VHS.
Yeah.
And you'd have to put that in, and then you would have to put that into a hollowed out VHS to put in the VCR. But
that's some 90s shit. Y'all don't know about that.
But I would take that, and then me and my brother, I would direct and be the cinematographer of these skits. And me and my brother, we would have a full show of multiple skits every day my dad came home from work. And they were actually like, at the time, like looking back, they were probably shitty. But like, at the time, they were like really good skits. Nice. And they're actually hilarious. And then like I remember the last one we did, like we did a Superman one. And my brother was like Superman. I had the fan on, he had like a sheet. And the sheet was actually moving. And it was his cape. And he was taking me to like, I was at the bus stop and he was taking me to school or whatever. He flew me to school. But like this is gonna like speak volumes. The last one we did, The Descent, had just come out, and
that movie's still
that movie had just come out. And mind you, because I used to be afraid of horror movies. Like I used to not be able to like watch them. Like I used to like cover up my eyes or whatever. But then like I remember White Noise came out. I was like, this is bullshit. This isn't scary. Then I've never been scared of horror at all since then. But then The Descent came out, and I was like, yo, I want to shoot horror movies.
Yeah.
And the last skit we did was inspired by The Descent, and I shot it in night vision on the camera.
Oh.
And it was super dark in the room. I had the lighting just right. And we shot a terrifying like horror skit. It wasn't even funny. It was a horror short film. And then from then, like in school, I put myself in high school, I put myself in a film class, and like by day I was a film student in high school, and by night I was actually in television studios, actually doing crew work and actual productions in Atlanta in the 9th grade, and it just progressed from there then on. And like I remember at the time, like now it's just like Rob's story time. But like I remember like in 11th grade, like, dude, my attendance was so bad. But
play
like,
hooky a lot, huh?
I remember one time, like I knew I had to take a I had perfect attendance when I was with my dad, but like when I was with my mom, never went to school. But like I still had enough credits. Like your boy ain't dumb. Your boy could have graduated in the 11th grade. I did not even have a full load in senior year. I could have been graduated. But those are required classes in senior year. But that's why I couldn't graduate early. But I remember a time, like a day specifically, my dad, I hear the intercom, Trey is being checked out. And I went up front, and they're like, went up to my dad. My dad was checking me out of school, and he was like, they're not gonna let you get your driver's license. Because if you miss any more days of school, they're not gonna let you get your driver's license. Joke's on you! I didn't get my driver's license till I was 20 years old, and I had been driving. I had got my truck when I was 18.
I didn't know that, or maybe you told me this a long time ago and I forgot. But okay,
I've been driving. But
well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's just how it goes to show how good of a driver I am. But never got caught. But I didn't have a permit. I would have been fucked. I got pulled over.
Yeah, I was late getting my permit and license. Like I waited a year to get my permit, and then a year to get my. So I don't think I actually got my driver's license until 17. Whereas everyone else had it at 16. So
that's not that late, Brian.
I know.
It's not that late.
But I was still terrified of driving, though. At the time.
Was terrified of driving early. Like I was like, how do I stay in the lane? And then my dad told me like, your right leg is supposed to be in the middle of the lane in your view. And then like I was also terrified of like driving by semi trucks.
Oh yeah, but highway driving.
Yeah,
in general.
Yeah. And I was like, catch up with me now, bitch.
Don't even think about it. You just do it. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I remember like he was like, they're not gonna let you graduate. I mean, not graduate, get your driver's license. And I was like, oh, I'm about to graduate high school. It doesn't matter. But yeah, my dad literally checked me out of school so that I could go to a studio. So he checked me out of school early so I could go to a studio, rooftop studio in Atlanta, and interview Yo Gotti and All-Star, Starlito, and Swayze Baby. So it's like I was doing that from an early age to still doing it, and now like on my own and like wanting to, like now it's like going, like I said earlier, going back to where you started to rekindle that flame because I want to do that shit again. Like I'm ready to get back into all of that production and within Atlanta and all of that. And it's like instead of just doing it by yourself, it's like let's go back to where we started. Let's go back to the beginning. And do this shit all over again because that's when I was the most passionate about it. Yes. You know, it's like going back because we did some crazy. I remember we did a Maury skit in an actual TV studio.
That you were so desperate to make these things happen even without the resources. Same with me, like when I was 13. Luke and I would we figured out how to record our guitar riffs or something. Like we'd make a song and then we recorded it on tape from like an external tape player, and then we blast it on the tape player. So even before we understood how recording worked and everything, that's what we did. And then we would just jam out to our own music. And it's like, that's the kind of passion. Like, we're so passionate about it. We're like, we can't wait to release this to the world and everything. It's like,
can't wait to take my tape down to the radio station.
We thought, you know, and I'm sure if we listened back to that, we'd be like, oh, wow. You know, but it's because of that look where Luke and I are now, you know, we just made a record. So, yeah. We're living out the dream that we had when we were 13. And so we were just so desperate to, you know, and we even played like a little talent competition at a church too. We thought we were like rock stars. And we played that. I was like, yeah, crank up the distortion on the amp and like, yeah. All the moms going, oh no, electric guitars. So, but it's like that's it right there. The way we felt then, I want to feel that right now.
Yeah, you got to find that thing again, you know? And like that can just apply to like really anything, like a marriage.
Yeah.
You know, like anything, you know?
Like, rekindling.
Yeah. But yeah, like I've just been like in a very nostalgic like spot against like, bruh, I got to go back. We got to do that what we were doing in 2007 on through 2021 just do what we're doing then, now.
But with the resources we have now.
And I've been saying, we don't got to be on TV.
Fuck that.
We were on TV a lot. I've been on TV. I've hosted shows on TV.
Yeah.
Like I was like literally in the 11th grade.
Yes.
Like next day, like my show airs that I hosted airs on TV one night. The next morning, like I saw you on TV. Like, oh shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but even way back then, I was like, yo, we need to jump on this new website called YouTube.
Yep. That's the thing. When I said fuck that a second ago, I mean, you ain't got to be on TV. You got so many more ways to get your content out there than you did back then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, TV was the only way back then when you were getting started. But, like you had to go through all these legal hoops and like, you know, they got to go through this person and that's got to get that through that, and then the studio grabs that, and then
come. Way we was doing it wasn't that complicated. It was local TV.
I guess I'm talking about like movies and things like that you want to make. Yeah, like
I mean, like we were on the CW. Oh.
Heck yeah!
Like, I've been in that building before.
Heck yeah!
Like, yeah. But like even going back, oh my god, this is gonna be a long episode. But like even going back when we moved to Atlanta 22 years ago, you probably don't even know him. He was a rapper at that time. Like you didn't know what rap was.
I knew what rap was. Christian rap back in the early 2000s.
This is not that.
Okay.
But Baby D, he was a legendary rapper here in Atlanta. Baby D, he was on UPN, which UPN became CW.
Yep.
He had a late night show. It was like
a
raw like rap like bass show. And then like Baby D is who was big, not even big, like underground big when we moved to Atlanta. And then years later, we would go and basically walk in those same footsteps and walk through those same doors. And then it's like, now I'm like going back to that, you know, it's like,
yes,
going back to the basics, you know, and if y'all don't even realize how deep of a cut that is. Baby D had a show on UPN. Like, that was 20 years ago. 20 plus years ago. You know? But, yeah. I'm ready to get back to the basics, you know? And that's sometimes you just got to go back to the basics to rekindle that flame, you know? Find yourself again. Like go back to where you were the hungriest and
guess it.
Redo that. You know, go back to that place. That's what a lot of, you know, superhero movies are about.
Yes.
That's what a lot of superhero movies are about.
Yeah.
It's a plot device.
It's
a story device. You know, but yeah, like it's a real thing. You know. Yeah. Brad, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Brad Pallone. And you can find me on Twitter at Brad_Pallone. You can find my photography at Ghost Proof Photography on all social media platforms. And also you can find my music at Battle of Heart and Mind on all streaming platforms and social media. You, Rob?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at RobertDXN. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because that is where you will find the video podcast of This Is Nonsense. And you can find This Is Nonsense every Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so on. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share. Definitely want to lighten it up, because I've been talking about some heavy shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be draining, but like it's important and it needs to be discussed. We need to bring light to these matters. And if I talk about it, you talk about it, we have a conversation, that conversation can grow and everyone can get in on the nonsense
Mm-hmm.
that is America. But yeah, you can find Sync and Desist wherever you listen to podcasts. We release new episodes every Tuesday. So please rate, review, subscribe, and share. And we will catch you next week.
Later.